So basically, to sum it up about my son's case is that he went overseas when he was 18 to get married, and then he came back when he was still 18 when he came back to the United States, and then he went back when he was 19 with a friend, and they went to also to Egypt, and they were looking, both of them, to get married. And then he's just spent a couple of months over there in Egypt. When he came back with his friend after 2 years, the FBI decided to arrest him and convict him of material support and conspiracy. And they said that he went overseas not to get married. He went overseas to basically commit jihad, which is to kill and maim people abroad. At the trial, of course, there was no evidence against my son except hearsay. So we lost the trial. They brought in material that had nothing to do with my son. They brought in material that about like people killing and maiming other people. Of course, you know, these are Muslim people who are killing and maiming other people. They brought that at the trial, and that's why we lost the trial. Then in every jail, and they kept moving him around. They were starving him to death. I found out from a common friend of mine, of ours, like my son and mine, that he was starving to death. Basically, they did all of that because they wanted him to take the plea deal. That was before the trial. They wanted him to take the plea deal. And they had him under harsh conditions. They had him in the SHU, or they had him in solitary at that time, in lockdown the whole time or most of the time, and also starving. And then when he did not take the plea deal, because he said, I did not do anything, so why should I get, you know, so why should I take a plea deal? It's basically like lying against himself and against other people who are, you know, his co-defendants. So he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do anything immoral. So they got mad at him. They got more mad at him. And that's why he got the 31.5 years. If he would have taken the plea deal and lied basically against himself, and, you know, saying that he went overseas to do something that he basically wasn't even thinking about, and lie against other people, then he would have gotten probably 10 years or less. So he knew that he was basically gambling, but he knew that because he was innocent, he really had a lot of faith in the American people and in the justice system. But they failed us, and now he's serving 31.5 years, and he's also being mistreated in some ways, where he is in the SHU, which is like, you know, he's always in lockdown constantly, and they deny him some of his mail. He doesn't get all his mail, and then sometimes when he gets his mail, it's also like probably a month later or a few weeks later, and they just dump like 11 letters together at him at once. So sometimes some of the people who are supporting him think that, you know, how come he's not answering their letters? But in fact, he's not even getting them. And he doesn't even get some of my letters either. And I have to do them either registered or what's the other word?
Certified?
Yes, or certified. And then sometimes even I pay money for that. He still does not get them. So half of the time, I would say like 50% of the time or 20% of the time, he doesn't get my letters if they're certified. If they're not certified, he doesn't get them at all. And, you know, it's just very, very sad that they're doing this to us and to other people in our situation. I don't understand why they're doing that to us. I can't understand, you know, why the torture. I can't understand what is this all for. And they basically broke up our family, and, you know, he's depressed, I'm depressed, and we're kind of losing hope because it's just not going anywhere. Every time, like, I think, well, maybe this year something different will come up, something different will happen, but nothing is happening. It's just the same situation, a non-end thing, you know. 31.5 years is a very long time for somebody who didn't do anything. So it's very harsh. Like, it's just very sad. I get very, very depressed when I know I'm gonna go visit him. I'm always depressed, but I get more depressed. I'm suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, so it gets worse when I know that I'm gonna go see my son. It gets like, it multiplies.
Yeah.
So this whole, like, this last week I haven't been doing good. I've just been getting worse.
Yeah.
So